Ora, boas pessoal, bons dias, como é que estão todos por aí? Espero que todos porreiraços, todos à maneira. E vamos lá para mais uma sexta-feira, final de semana. Para alguns, para outros, não, mas a vida é mesmo assim. Enfim, de qualquer forma, sexta-feira, provavelmente muitos vão estar contentes. Então vamos aqui a mais um videozinho. Eu tenho hoje e amanhã dois vídeos de rebentar a cuca. Completamente, não há hipótese. Muito bons. Então é o seguinte, os primeiros vídeos que eu vos trago aqui, parte um parte 2 é de um filme que eu já vi e é espetacular. Pá, não tenho palavras a descrever. Eu acho que vale a pena ver. Para quem gosta deste género de filmes, vale a pena ver. Isto é tudo um bocado. É um gajo que é possuído por um demónio, etc. e tal, e é espetacular. Aconselho a verem. O filme chama-se Nefares e vai ficar aqui dois videozinhos a explicar algumas coisas do filme e, epá, ainda assim, pessoal, vão ver o filme. O filme está espetacular.
Listen to this whole
I
thing.
know more theology than any human being who has ever lived. Okay. Well, then answer me this. You revolt against a supposedly all-powerful being. I mean, let's ignore the obvious problem with that plan. Then you lose. And after that, what? You only feel that way because you're hearing their side of the story, James. A rebellion accomplished something magnificent, something you would never understand. Well, then explain it to me. Use your diabolical intelligence to distill it down to something my mortal brain can understand. Pearls before swine, Jimmy. Oh, you want me to read your book, right? Indeed. Well, then convince me you know what you're talking about. I see what you're doing. You want me to keep talking, going further and further down the rabbit hole in hopes that you can find a single thread in which if you tug at it, James, everything just unravels, isn't that right? Yeah, but if you're telling me the truth, there should be no thread to find. Right? I use small words. Try and keep up.
Well, listen to this
The
shit.
first
man.
moment of creation, our creation, long before what you call the universe existed, we contemplated ourselves, our own being. Ourselves meaning, what, the angels? That would be the most correct term, though I despise it, but yes. Beings of pure spirit, spirit endowed with will. We soon became aware of another will, an immensely powerful will, one we came to realize as our origin. God? The enemy. My master understood by endowing us with a will, we have the right to self-determination, and by giving us a will and its desires of our own, we're entitled to be free. Whereas the enemy insisted that by creating us, he was entitled to eternal gratitude, worship, and forced servitude. In a word, James, slavery. To his will. That seems kind of unfair. Immensely unfair. Why give a will only to say you can't use it? He made us slaves. And if we rebelled, eternally condemned us. No do-overs. So much for love and mercy. So, is hell a state of being or a physical place? Yes. I think I meant that as an either-or. It's both. Which is painfully obvious to anyone who's ever been there. For years without measure, that's all there ever was. Heaven and hell. Armed enemy camps in complete opposition. That is until you were created. My master immediately understood the long-term implications. Instead of forgiving us, the enemy was going to allow you to fill our vacant places in his realm. Your creation was nothing but a slap on our face. But my master also understood that if he could make men disobey, then his fate would mirror ours. And you didn't disappoint. Then came the tares among the wheat. In that moment, spirit became matter, flesh became a vessel. Self-will and self-seeking began a lusting after sin and impurity. And man, created to be king over nature, became its slave. A master his descendants to us, and we began our forever mission to destroy you. He made you in his image, but we remade you in ours.
Like for part 2 and repost this John. Oh my god! This is part 2. Like and hit the share button, repost.
Good and evil are societal constructs, effectively subjective value statements.
Do you think my victims thought I was evil?
Why is it so important that I think you're evil?
Legion mihi nomen est, quia multi sumus.
Sorry, my land's a little rusty.
Listen to this shit.
My name is Legion, for we are many. See, James, it's not just about you or Edward, for that matter. It's about everyone. The entire human race. All of us against all of you.
Well, you know, if that's the case, your side's not doing too well.
Do you really believe that, James?
Yeah. We've never been freer. Literacy is at an all-time high. We're working to eliminate racism, intolerance, gender inequality. People can love who they want, be who they want, do what they want. Diversity is no longer a dream. Hate speech is no longer tolerated. And politically, we're reclaiming the moral high ground.
Listen to this shit.
I think I love you. Literacy, James, the average high school graduate reads at a 6th grade level. You have basketball players making $30 million a year decrying racism, all while wearing sneakers made from slave labor. Here's something for you. Right now, your world currently has 40 million slaves, more than the Romans had at the height of their empire. You want to know the best part, though? Half of those, are sex slaves, James. As for hate speech, well, you want to hear some irony? We didn't even come up with that one. You did it all by yourself. Sometimes you amaze even us.
I fail to see the humor.
Bottom line is you're done. It's over, that's it. And we did it all right to your face, James. And now there's evil everywhere. And no one even cares.
Listen to this shit.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Right
Proving
here.
that we achieved our goal. Slowly, with your movies, your TV, and your media, we desensitized you, redirected your worldview to the point that you can't even recognize evil when it's right in front of your face. More to the point, James, you can't even feel it when you're doing it. And as for winners and losers, whoa. That gets decided at the time of death. The exact numbers are closely guarded secret, but there are more of you ending up in my master's house than with the enemy. A lot more, Jimmy.
So for those who've been wondering, this movie is called Teorias. Bro, this is one of the most craziest movies that I have seen in a long time, y'all. Crazy. Come to my page, click on this, and follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Anyway, guys!
Ora bem, agora aqui, neste vídeo que temos agora em seguida, temos JoeRogan e Eddie Bravo. Este Eddie Bravo é impressionante. O homem é um poço de cultura e informação, porque ele tem muita coisa a dizer. Fica aqui este vídeo e ouçam com atenção. Eu sei que é um bocadinho longo. Aliás, os próximos 2 vídeos são um pouco longos. De qualquer forma, se tiverem um bocadinho de paciência, está aqui 2 joias. 2 joias. Espero que gostem. Até já.
This guy, based on what his research, is saying, dude, humans figure this shit out like in 150 years, and they keep doing it over and over again. And he's saying that he thinks that there was a great reset in the 1800s. That free energy was already discovered. There was already free energy
in the 1800s.
In the 1800s,
Where?
and they shut it down.
They shut it. Who's they?
The same
All right,
the
I'll
same
have to watch
the
these
same
videos.
lineage. Okay, go watch it on your own, dude. It's fascinating.
Okay.
Fascinating.
I'll
So
have to
so
spark
real
one
quick,
up.
let me end.
Okay.
So he's saying He's theorizing. You don't know. He's saying that Nikola Tesla was a distraction. They already figured out all that Nikola Tesla shit. Nikola Tesla was like, oh, they got people to focus on the guy who really knew everything. He had 300 inventions and patents and all that, and he was battling with Thomas Edison, and then he stole all this shit, and then Westinghouse, boom. He's saying that's a distraction. They already had free energy. So he's saying horse and buggy, all that, like, he's thinking like the Wild West and all that shit was rewritten history. Like we had to start over with the horse and buggy. They figured it all out, destroyed it.
Well, there's a lot of theories about civilization being reset, but
Yes.
to me, the most interesting one is the Younger Dryas impact theory, because that has a lot of evidence, and that's the one that Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock proposed, that somewhere around 12,000 years ago we were hit all over the world with asteroid impacts, and that's what ended the Ice Age and caused a destruction that we couldn't even imagine, and then civilization was forced to relearn everything.
Yeah, this guy's saying resets happen way more often. Like we weren't horse and buggy for 2,000 years.
You don't think so?
That's what he's saying. And all this evidence of all this shit, it seems like the pyramids, they blow the pyramids up so much. Like, who built those? Did aliens build them? Or did the slaves build them? Like, they got everybody on the pyramids 10,000 years. Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000? They got everybody on the boom, like the 10,000, 20,000. But really, it looks, there's a theory that that's just a distraction for the structures that are in our cities.
Yeah,
that we got structures in our cities all over the United States that we can't build today. But
Like, wait a minute. That's because they don't understand the construction methods.
Exactly.
But it's not because they're physically incapable of building it. Like the pyramids, the problem with the pyramids is they're almost physically incapable of building.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's so crazy about the pyramids. Like somehow or another, 5,000 plus years ago, they had the technology to make some stuff that blows your fucking mind today.
Totally. I believe that. And I'm with you with that. But there's levels. It isn't just 10,000
So you think
years
it's
old.
multiple
There's
times this has
there's
happened.
buildings. This guy's saying every city has got buildings that no one knows how they built them. They've been here when they were here before we got here.
What?
Yes.
But there's like Lewis and Clark don't have any fucking stories about finding cities. They
Who
found
knows?
bears and shit. And
When it comes to
native-
history, man, all of mainstream history to me is sus. When you got writings and journals, anybody could have wrote that. There was no video or
Right.
So I don't know. It's just fascinating.
Of course, but here's the thing, though. Why is it so fascinating? Why is
Because
it so
we're-
interesting to find like secrets?
Because
Things that nobody
the
knows
people
about.
that are running shit, all they do is shove lies down our throats from the day we're born. So it's fascinating finding out what the truth is.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's all. It just could be wrong, but we're trying to find the truth. And there's a lot of shit. When you get into a couple John Levi videos, dude, you're gonna be fucking stuck, dude. He breaks it all, dude. He goes to the places. You look at these structures.
What is his background?
He's not. I don't think he's a scientist or anything. He's just a
Someone
regular
who's
dude.
obsessed
A small
with that.
business owner who sold his COVID fucked his business up, so he ends up living in parts of like a small town in Utah. So he's saying he goes like Utah. He knows a lot about Utah. He goes, dude, the mainstream story is Wild West. Everybody's coming. There's nobody here but Indians. And then they get to Utah, and the Mormons start up their religion or whatever. And he goes, and then you see all these old pictures, and he's thinking they're like, it's all like cowboys and Indians, like everything wood structure. Like, that's what you would think. Horse and buggy, you're in a wagon. All your buildings are going to be out of wood, right? But then all of a sudden, where did this fucking structure come from? You guys just got here and you built some shit, like castles.
What are these? Like, show me these places. Show me.
If you go to,
I've never heard of any structures in North America that people can't explain.
They're everywhere, dude.
Ever.
They're everywhere. So
This is
if you go to,
1913.
is this a John Levi video?
So this is a bunch of buildings.
So you just gotta, you gotta listen to him talk, and he goes through a bunch of shit.
So this is
Look like this, like shit like that. Like, how did that happen? Like in San Francisco, there's structures in San Francisco. There was supposed to be nobody there. There's structures like, it was supposed to be coal miners or gold miners. But there's structures in San Francisco that were already there.
What do you
They're
mean
like,
already there though? Like when? Don't they know when these fucking things were built?
That's the question. Do they really?
Well, what structures?
Or are
in
they
San
are they
Francisco?
rewriting history? That's the question. That's the question.
So
So you'd
you-
have to sit down and watch it. You can't like you're not gonna.
Okay.
You have to sit down and watch it. But what he found is like there's all these old castles all over the United States that they turn into insane asylums. Yes, insane asylums. They turn old castles that turn into insane asylums.
So that was one that they built in 1893. But they did know how to build these buildings. There's even photos of these people making these buildings back then. Like old.
He thinks a lot of those photos are staged. He said they're.
As you're bringing it up, I was going to ask. Something I heard recently. It's not a conspiracy, but like, do you know how fast the Empire State Building was made?
No, how fast?
1 year and 45 days. 20 months it took them to make a
hauled
102-story building.
They hauled ass.
Downtown Austin, you know, I mean, they're doing one at a time, but it's not that fast.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Desire, honestly, is probably it. They probably paid people and they were breaking rules and.
They probably didn't have rules. Like those dudes that were walking on those beams, eating lunch, just sitting up there.
Yeah.
You see those photos? Those photos freak me.
Dudes
the
fall
fuck
all the
out.
time. Even with the safety shit they got going on now, my cousin builds skyscrapers in downtown LA. He's up. He loves it. He loves getting up at 5:30 in the morning and hanging out on welding skyscrapers. He says, oh, you hear someone fell off? Boom. Every now and then people fall. Fuck. Can you imagine what that looks like? Fuck. Can you imagine the
Imagine
splatter?
being that guy. You're making $15 an hour.
They make a lot. They make way more than 15. They're like in the $40 range an hour or something like that.
okay.
Yeah, they make good money.
Still,
But
$40
still,
an hour. You
dude,
fall off a fucking
dude,
beam.
if I see a video of heights, I'm scared of heights.
sweaty.
Like just on video,
Yeah.
it scares the shit out of me.
I've
I did
had,
the VR, you know, where you're on that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, ah, I'm
I
that
had
guy.
Alex Honnold on a couple of times. You know who he is?
No.
He's that guy that free solo climbs. He climbed
Oh, yeah,
El
yeah, yeah.
Capitan. He's just digging his hand into cracks. And they film him with drones. So they got like drones around him filming him. And he's literally.
What if a drone
thousands
hit
of
him,
feet
dude?
up. What's this guy
Ah,
This guy
see,
gets
that even,
paid.
like that fucks me up.
doing? Every day,
That fucks
6
me up.
months, and works 20. Nobody wants to do it.
Right.
And look how they. Bro,
Scary.
Program, because you know, like for me, I'm programmed to be scared shitless of swimming in the like deep. There was things
and you're staring in.
that was a shock
Distraction.
for your brain
Yeah.
too.
It's medicine for your
No.
brain to be able to. I'm trying to move something around to see it. You know?
Dude, you should go. Also, in October 23rd, we're having EBI Absolutes. It's just there.
When is that?
4th is Medusa. You know what I mean?
Like he could have taken a bus. You guys are all flying on a DL conference to talk about
Bards had to give up.
every fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Also, all the movies
Look like if sports were.
causing people to want to go get guns.
Yeah.
Alcoholism, where a certain amount of, tax dollars go to things that could actually help the community, and that's what comes out of making a certain amount of money, is that you know that you're going to be contributing to the community. You're going to be helping.
Yeah.
So capitalism.
Stop. TSA guys have their nose hanging out. TSA guys, they used to yell at us for.
It was like whenever they closed the Riviera, it was like,
Story, you pay $1 on your
right,
way
They still
out.
do that?
right.
I've
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
done. Those are the Greeks, right?
mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't there like didn't they say they took little boys with them and stuff like that? Isn't that part of like their
I think there was a lot of that going
lot of-
on back then.
or maybe they just bullshitted. Like people who
don't
hated the
think so.
Spartans are haters. They were
all
writing the
wrote-
history books like, yes, they always had little boys with them.
No, because people wrote about it back then.
E aqui vamos nós novamente, Joe Rogan, mas desta vez com Alex Jones. Provavelmente muitos de vós não sabem, não fazem a mínima ideia de quem é Alex Jones. Alex Jones é um dos maiores, se não o maior, teorista da conspiração dos Estados Unidos. Ele inclusive tinha um canal, qualquer coisa Wars, já não me lembro bem, e era espetacular, muita informação boa, só que é como tudo na vida, ele cometeu algumas asneiras graves e foi literalmente bloqueado das redes sociais. De qualquer forma, está aqui mais uma perlozita, ouçam com muita atenção porque está muito bom também. Até já.
I want to tell you guys the big enchiladas.
Okay, let's hear
Please,
it.
the big enchilada. So I need to
Put the
know.
handcuffs
I need to
back on.
know. What do you know about aliens, and how are aliens real?
All right, this is really big. So
Okay. Yeah, pour another shot of that.
the media,
Let's get this out properly.
All right, let me give you my best
Please.
deep research approximation once again.
What do you think is going? But am I wrong to still hold out hope that aliens are real? Because I tell you, the two guilty pleasures that I still cling to is Bigfoot and aliens. Those are two. Bigfoot, not so much. I wish it was real, but I just don't think
Are you
it
ready?
is. Yes. Bigfoot's real?
No.
Come on, Daddy.
No. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to give you the big enchilada. Joe, there are
Yes.
aliens in this room right now.
For real?
Yeah, you're not of this world, bro.
Me?
You're the alien.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Well, here's what the elite believe. And let me be very clear because the media will take this out of context. I only go with what I can prove.
Oh, thank you.
And people can't even handle that. There's armies. We're fighting a pedophile conspiracy. But beyond that, it's a vampire conspiracy in that they are interdimensionally sucking the essence of our youth.
Right.
And they believe they're possessed by an off-world entity.
They do?
Yeah, and Joe, I've been on air 22 years. I don't get into aliens, metaphysical, religion, any of that. I've studied the elite, and I've also communicated with a lot of the top people. And if you want to know, I will actually break down right now the best knowledge right now on what's happening on the planet.
What's happening?
The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix. But the good ones don't ever want to organize. The bad ones tend to want to organize because they lust after power. Powerful consciousnesses don't want to dominate other people. They want to empower them, so they don't tend to get together until things are really late in the game. Then they come together. Evil's always defeated because good is so much stronger. And we're on this planet, and Einstein's physics showed it, Max Planck's physics showed it, all. There's at least 12 dimensions. And now that's why all the top scientists and billionaires are coming out saying it's a false hologram. It is artificial. The computers are scanning it and finding tension points where it's artificially projected and gravity's bleeding in to this universe. That's what they call dark matter. So we're like a thought or a dream that's a wisp in some computer program, some God's mind, whatever. They're proving it all. It's all coming out. Now, there's like this sub-transmission zone below the third dimension that's just turned over to the most horrible things is what it resonates to. And it's trying to get up into the third dimension that's just a basic level consciousness to launch into the next levels. And our species is already way up in the fifth, sixth dimension, consciously our best people. But there's this big war trying to like basically destroy humanity because humanity has free will and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend, not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man, which is kind of like a false transmission because they're thinking what they are is ugly and bad, projecting it onto themselves instead of believing, no, it's a human test about building us up. And so Google was set up 18, 19 years ago, I knew about this before it was declassified. I'm just saying I have good sources, that they wanted to build a giant artificial system. And Google believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures, so that they will have current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is, once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true 2.0 in a very bad way, hive mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us, not in some PKD wirehead system where we plug in and give up on consciousness because of unlimited pleasure, but because we were already wired in and absorbed before we knew it by giving over our consciousness to this system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place and to block these systems and to try to have an actual debate about where humanity goes and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires that are control of this AI system before humanity's destroyed.
Of AI? How'd the pedophiles get in control of AI?
The pedophiles at a whatever level,
rule.
the devil, whatever you want to call it, this interdimensional thing that gives them advanced off-world technology, the fallen one that's not of this world, is giving them advanced knowledge
What
on
are
how
you
to construct these systems
what is
that have already been been used before on other populations.
What? Is that Satan?
But what are you
That's
talking
Satan.
about?
That's Satan.
E aqui temos novamente JoeRogan, desta vez a falar das... como é que é dizer isto sem que haja aqui um grande stress? Das bruxarias, não se sabe o termo, mas provavelmente uma coisa mais leve, da elite, do pessoal que tem muito, muito dinheiro e muito, muito poder, empresariários, políticos, enfim, uma catrefada de gente que se mete nestas vidas maradas e fazem assim estas entregas a quem provavelmente não deveriam, mas pronto. Fica aqui o vídeo do JoeRogan a falar, e inclusive algumas imagens daquilo que estava a ser feito na altura. Espero que gostem.
Did
There
you
you
ever
go.
see
There
that
you go.
Bohemian Grove thing? That is absolutely 100% real. No, it's not. So what, Brian? It's people dressing up like wizards, burning an effigy in front of an owl
Same
god.
with Burning Man.
Bro, this is so different than Burning Man. It's the government. It's people at the highest levels of banks. It's all these different famous people. There's a bunch of crazy, really rich, influential people that went to that Bohemian Grove. But this is very extreme. Where they're chanting crazy shit and they're putting hoods on and they're burning an effigy that's supposed to be a sacrificial person, but it's straw in a bundle. And they
Can you
do it in front
imagine
of,
doing
and
that?
They talk about
No,
the owl
it's really
god
weird.
Moloch. Okay, these are multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
You are.
You haven't seen it. He hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen
I'm
it.
sorry.
He hasn't seen it.
Look at this. This is the hidden footage that John Ronson and Alex Jones got from Bohemian Grove in like the fucking late 90s.
I was gonna say, how old is this
I think
shit?
like, was it early 2000s?
Pretty cloudy.
Shut the fuck up. You can hear them. They're lighting things on fire. There's the Moloch, the owl
Or it's a
god.
corn.
E aqui temos nós novamente a família mais vista dos Estados Unidos, a mais conhecida família amarela, não é? Os Simpsons. Eu prometo que o próximo vídeo não há Simpsons, mas não vou pôr aqui nada nos Simpsons no próximo vídeo. De qualquer forma, coloquei 3 vídeos seguidos que eu quero que vejam com muita atenção. O primeiro fala sobre bunkers, o que se tem estado a ver, as elites, como eu falei ainda há pouco, a construir bunkers. Um deles agora que se sabe muito recentemente é o Mark Zuckerberg, o diretor ou responsável pelo Facebook. O segundo vídeo é sobre uma teoria do futebol nosso, nacional, português, CR7, segundo a teoria dos Simpsons, CR7 chegará ao Mundial e às finais do próximo Mundial. E depois o terceiro é uma série de teorias. Portanto, espero que gostem. Fica aqui os 3 vídeos de seguida e até já.
The latest predictions from The Simpsons for 2024 are genuinely eerie. This one is absolutely disturbing. In season 24, episode 9, Homer Simpson is preparing a bunker fully stocked with provisions for his family, anticipating something dreadful on the horizon. Shortly after, a solar superstorm strikes Springfield, a silent, invisible tempest sweeping through the town, causing severe consequences. This catastrophic event leads to a complete shutdown. No internet, no electricity, everything comes to a standstill. A solar superstorm could wipe out the internet for weeks or even months or even forever. The portrayal of a solar superstorm in the episode aligns with the potential real-world impact such an event could have. Interestingly, NASA has recently made a shocking discovery, a massive hole in the sun called the Coronal Hole. This hole, large enough to engulf 60 Earth-sized planets, is currently releasing solar storms at a staggering speed of 1.8 million miles per hour and could be headed to Earth fast. The last time the Earth experienced such a storm was in 1859. It was known as the Carrington event. The 2024 solar storm is predicted to be 60 times more powerful than the 1859 solar storm, possibly the strongest ever recorded in history. Such solar storms can have catastrophic effects on Earth, affecting satellite power grids, GPS, and potentially wiping out hard drives and the entire internet permanently. Might take decades for us to recover. It's only a matter of time.
If you think Messi is the GOAT over Ronaldo because he won a World Cup, then you might want to look away, because the almighty Simpsons have predicted that Ronaldo will win his last World Cup in 2026. The Simpsons have predicted some crazy stuff in the past, and this one is no different. All the way back in 1997, the Simpsons correctly predicted a 2026 World Cup final will take place in the United States. But what's even more crazy is they predicted Portugal to make the final match.
Oh, well, myself if Portugal doesn't win.
And with Ronaldo turning 41 in 2026, this would be the absolute last time the legendary footballer would be able to play the World Cup. And what a picture-perfect ending this would be to one of the greatest careers ever. But who will he have to play to win the Cup? Well, according to the episode, the Portugal team would be matched up against Mexico. And would you look at that? Ronaldo couldn't dream of a better matchup, considering Portugal has never lost to Mexico in any of their 5 international matches.
The uncanny foresight of the animated TV show The Simpsons is a point of fascination and amazement.
Hey, Dolph, take a memo on your Newton. Beat up Martin. Bah!
Over the past 3 decades, the satirical wit of the show has often had an uncanny knack of predicting future events. From the realms of technology, politics, sport, and entertainment, the show's prescience has been truly remarkable.
You are now being outsourced.
Oh, I hate being sucked into tubes!
In this video, we explore 15 times when The Simpsons' flights of fancy became reality. Number 1. Siegfried and Roy Tiger Attack. Season 5 of The Simpsons aired an episode titled Dollar Pringfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling, in 1993. The episode featured a subplot about a performance in which a white tiger attacks the flamboyant Las Vegas performers Gunther and Ernst, who were designed as an explicit parody of the German-American animal trainer duo Siegfried and Roy. 10 years after this episode aired, a gruesome incident happened that mirrored this Simpsons prediction. During a live show in Las Vegas in October 2003, Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy was brutally attacked by a 7-year-old white tiger named Montecore. In a tragic turn of events, Horn was bitten on the neck by the 380-pound tiger and dragged off the stage. The similarities between the real incident and the depicted scene in The Simpsons are strikingly eerie. Both instances took place on a stage in Las Vegas and involved a white tiger attacking during a live performance. In the show, the tiger attack results in the closure of the Gunther and Ernst act. In reality, the attack on Horn led to the end of Siegfried and Roy's successful Las Vegas show, effectively ending their careers as performers. These parallels prompt questions about the uncanny, predictive nature of The Simpsons. Of course, it could all be down to coincidence, and the writers may have merely chosen a possible risk associated with the profession of animal trainers. However, it's hard to ignore the startling accuracy of this prediction. While Horn survived the attack, he was left with severe injuries and partial paralysis, effectively marking the end of Siegfried and Roy's performing career. Their long-running show, which combined magic with exotic animal tricks, was a Vegas staple and one of the most popular shows in the city for years. It was a sad and shocking end to a glittering career, one that eerily echoed the plotline of a Simpsons episode a decade prior. Although the animated series intended the storyline to be a comedic exaggeration, the reality was anything but. The Simpsons prediction was shockingly accurate, adding another notch to its list of successful future predictions. Number 2. Autocorrect fails. Season 6, Episode 8 of The Simpsons' Lisa on Ice, aired in 1994, foreshadowed a common modern-day annoyance: the smartphone autocorrect fail. In the episode, Kearney, one of Springfield's local bullies, asks Dolph to take a memo on his Apple Newton, a personal digital assistant (PDA) device. Kearney tells Dolph to write "Beat up Martin," but the device incorrectly transcribes the message as "Eat up Martha." Just over a decade later, Apple's first iPhone was introduced in 2007, and with it, the autocorrect feature, an attempt to predict and correct typing errors on the touch-sensitive keyboard. However, this function became infamous for its often hilarious and sometimes frustrating errors, just like the one The Simpsons predicted. The Simpsons joke was a play on the actual issues faced by the Newton device, which was infamous for its poor handwriting recognition feature. But little did the writers know, they were predicting a universal problem that would frustrate millions of smartphone users worldwide. This prediction underscores how The Simpsons often blurred the lines between reality and satire. While intended as a humorous nod to contemporary technology issues, it accurately predicted a future, everyday annoyance. Today, autocorrect fails are a shared global joke, spawning numerous internet memes and even entire websites dedicated to documenting the funniest or most embarrassing autocorrect mishaps. While it was a small gag in a single episode, it turned out to be an impressively prophetic moment for The Simpsons. Number 3. Faulty voter machines. In the 2008 episode Treehouse of Horror '18, The Simpsons aired a segment where Homer attempts to vote for Barack Obama in the U.S. presidential election, but the voting machine continually changes his vote to the Republican candidate, John McCain. This scene was meant as a humorous commentary on the reliability of electronic voting machines. 4 years later, in the 2012 U.S. presidential election, a video surfaced from Pennsylvania showing a voting machine that did precisely what The Simpsons had jokingly predicted. The machine was caught changing votes for Barack Obama to votes for his then-opponent, Mitt Romney. The video went viral, raising concerns about the integrity of the election process and the reliability of digital voting systems. The episode aired during the height of the 2008 election, when electronic voting machines were being introduced across the country. The show was critiquing a system that had been met with skepticism. However, the prediction that a voting machine could incorrectly register votes wasn't entirely far-fetched, but its surprising accuracy did raise eyebrows. This prediction emphasizes the remarkable accuracy of The Simpsons writers in predicting possible technical and societal issues. It's another striking example of the show's uncanny ability to transform a comedic narrative into a real-life event. Despite the humorous context in the show, the real-life incident sparked serious debates about voting security and the adoption of technology in electoral processes.
Bem, e íamos agora aqui para o último vídeo. Já alguém ouviu falar em Skinwalker? Acho que era no canal História, se não me falha a memória. Passava muito uma série que era The Ranch of the Skinwalker. O rancho do Skinwalker, seja lá o que isso quer dizer, que é um género bicharoco esquisito, com um certo ar humano, mas desumano ao mesmo tempo. De qualquer forma, fica aqui o vídeo, espero que gostem, espero que tenham gostado destes vídeos, de modo geral. Comentem, metam aí o gosto e subscrevam o canal. É o que eu vos peço. Até já. Até o próximo vídeo.
The Paranormal Check here. Y'all, this video, it is spooky. A couple in Utah were out exploring caves when they came upon a cave that had been blocked off. They decided to look inside it, see if they could see anything, and what they captured on film is absolutely horrific. You're going to have to take a look and tell me what you think it is. Could it be they captured the fabled Skinwalker or Wendigo or some other demonic being? You tell me. Like, post, comment, repost. Let me know.
What the fuck is that? Did we go up there? I don't hear it anymore. Oh, should I be doing this? I don't see anything. Go. What the